All right, so I guess we'll get started. So I'm Vince Veneziale. I am one of the FSEs for Symco. Terrence McCarron, my partner here, is the other FSE. Kind of been on board with us, I don't know, 5-6 weeks now. Get there. He's up in the Boston area. I'm in the Pennsylvania area. And again, we are your two Biamp FSEs at Symco. Today, we're going to be going over basically an update from Infocom covering more of the UC and control specific products from Biamp. So let me start here. So conferencing. Again, Biamp is very heavily vested in everything you see, everything conferencing anymore, as well, of course, as big, large venue stuff, and everything in between. But big focus on conferencing. And again, we like to play well with others, even though we make some competing products. It's a great industry. Most of us all get along well. So we were happy to announce at Infocom that we are now both Barco, ClickShare, and Mersive certified on our products. So you don't have to worry about any more compatibility issues there. We'll be keeping on top of it. Some new announcement. I'm pretty sure there's slides on this later, but anybody that knows about our VBC 2500, which is actually what I'm talking on now, knows about our new noise reduction, like I'm clapping and you're not hearing it. And I have a chip bag, I'll crinkle the chip bag and of course you won't hear it. This is a new noise reduction algorithm developed by Biamp using deep learning AI. And this will remove anything that's not human speech. In addition to that, they also developed a new deverb filter. So actually, part of the reason our bar is working so well in some of these, what we consider fishbowl environments, is this deverb filter that's been added as well. So both these products were initially delivered in the bar. Then about 3 or 4 months ago now, we released a Tessera FORTÉ X update that if you were using FORTÉ X using Launch, which is our automated configuration and commissioning process, if you were using that, you also got this new algorithm with the noise reduction and the deverb. We're happy to announce now in September, you will now be able to get a new version of firmware and software that will allow you to drop this noise reduction directly into a custom file now. So just like all of our other things, you go into the process library, you pull the AI noise reduction. And in here, like I said, we kind of have 2 different filters going on. One is the noise reduction and the other one's the deverb. You'll be able to set both of them individually as far as how aggressive they are. So again, in your custom applications now, you'll be able to use this process. Up until now, it's only been available in the bar and in the DSP using Launch, right? So you couldn't do a custom file with our mics and other mics or anything that was outside of Launch and take access to this block. Now you'll have it for custom programs. Some minor updates, kind of housekeeping. There was a new mounting plate added to the FORTÉ X platform. This was just an enhancement in production, so now it's got a little bit nicer cable management system on it. And it now has a door to cover the connections, and there was no change in cost. That was just something modified on the product. We also, back in March, released new firmware for FORTÉ X, again, using this launch process that automatically configures and tunes to a space. We added the ability to do assistive listening and to do fire alarm mute from them. So if you're running launch on a FORTÉ X platform, you actually have a dedicated audio output that will give you assistive listening, and you can set it to be near end, far end, or both, mic or line level, and adjust the level, all from within a web interface. Also, the FORTÉ X has some GPIO ports on the back. If you wire up a fire alarm to GPIO 1, we will now go into a mute state anytime that fire alarm is triggered. That was also added. So the goal here is Launch is this process that makes rooms easy to deploy with a repetitive outcome. And we even generate some really good reports on that. But we were getting knocked out of some places where they would say, assistive listening is definitely a requirement for a government facility or maybe a school. So by adding these features, we're really trying to make launch to be a much wider, you know, solution that'll work in more scenarios where we don't have to take on custom programming and everybody can get in and out and get paid faster. Now, again, in May, that update was put in FORTÉ X, where launch added that noise reduction. Again, all these are free updates. There's no cost for any of these. So if you had an existing FORTÉ X that had launch running, you update the firmware, rerun launch, you get this new algorithm. Come September, as I mentioned, you will now have this available as a processing block within Tessera. Camera tracking. You know, I probably within Biamp, I'm one of the people that has dealt with trying to get our system to do camera tracking the most. And we do really good audio. And if you get up and move around, we don't necessarily change mics, which is really good for audio, hasn't been great for camera tracking. And we've been waiting for the right way to do tracking, which we see as being use the audio trigger to find where the person initially spoke from, but then have some kind of visual AI say, hey, this person got up and walked around, keep them framed. Well, lo and behold, Biamp and Aber work together. I believe Aber actually started this process to where they're using our microphones now to find the talker and then using their video AI to track that person if they get up and walk around. So this is supposed to come out later this year. And actually, this is more of an Aber developed solution. So contact your Aber rep to find out more about this. But again, this is coming, which is great. Now, we've had different solutions out for different size spaces for quite a while. We were happy to announce at InfoComm that our VIDI 250 is now Microsoft Teams certified. We had other products that were already Teams certified, so now we have full Teams certified solutions. So whether you're doing with very small huddle space with an SCR10 and a display, or you want to do one of the Devio SCRs, you add a VIDI 250, the entire solution is now Teams certified. Now, BAR's been great. It didn't have in it everything everybody wanted, but what it didn't have made other people happy. And what I mean by that is it's a simple USB peripheral. If you look at the back of our bar, there's a power connection, a USB connection, and on the latest version of the bar, there's actually a balance line output because we added that same assistive listening that I talked about in launch to the bar. So all the new bars, once the old versions sell out, all the new versions will be this BBC 2500A, the A meaning it has the assistive listening output. And again, same thing, you can define what's on that, whether it's near end, far end, or both. But that's all there was. There was no way to connect to it. There was no way to manage it. If you want to update firmware, you have to connect directly to the bar with a laptop, running custom software, download the firmware, upload the firmware. Something we're used to doing, but we'd rather not have people do. So we're happy to announce that we have a couple different options now. The first and easiest of which is it is now included in the Microsoft update. So if you do a Windows update to a machine, that machine has one of our VIDI 250s or bars connected to it. The latest firmware that we're controlling the distribution of will be updated through that update, and your devices are good to go. So if you're running a Windows-based machine, whether it be an MTR, Zoom Room, or just a PC, and we're plugged into it, we'll get our updates. Again, really nice. You don't have to do anything. Just let them run. And like most USB peripherals, they'll get updated. But we have this little product called SageView, which we actually give away. And it's a product that allows you to monitor, manage, control firmware updates. It'll notify you when things go wrong. You can set them to do emails and text and all that. Well, that's great. This product works throughout our products, through Tessera, through Gochia, QTX. But the bar, since it didn't have any Ethernet connectivity, didn't have this capability. So how do we make this bar now connect to a network management system? So we added basically what I consider to be a little docking station. So we have a box called the Parlay N100. And what this is going to do is this is going to sit between the bar and your PC, and then allow a network connection. So through that, we're now going to be able to monitor the status of the bar. We can rerun launch if we want. We can know if it's connected or not, if it's in a call, whether it's muted or not. All that will appear through the SageView, as well as also seeing in a quick pane of glass what version of firmware everybody's on, does anybody need to be updated, and you can actually schedule the updates to happen whenever you want. So again, this really helps with these mass deployments that we're seeing at the bars. You know, we do have a lot of customers ordering 40, 50 at a time. They have been very, very good for us and working very well. But again, once you start having a number of them, you need to manage them. You know, they're a critical piece of equipment in our conferencing spaces. So this, as I said, this bar, you know, would mount behind a display, under a table, you know, wherever, you know, somewhere close to the bar. With standard Biamp 5-year warranty. But what's on the back of it now is an Ethernet port, a USB-C connection, a couple of USB 3 connections, and then a USB 3 Type B connection. Like I said, this is going to sit between the bar. So we can now plug a power supply into this. We plug a network cable in. We're now getting it on the network to manage it. I can plug the bar into the USB-C port. Now, the bar's always been able to be powered up over the USB cable, but it comes with a free power supply because it draws like 60 watts. Not a lot of PCs out there delivering 60 watts. This guy, it was built for this purpose, so it will supply enough power to power up the bar, so we're only using the single power supply. And then I have two USB connections, so maybe I have an interactive display, maybe I'm using our audio-only bar and I'm using a camera, a ViDi250 secondary, or maybe I have two cameras that I'm going to plug in along with the ViDi, along with the bar. It's basically just a USB hub that's going to pass through to the host. So I plug what I want in there. Then I have my UC laptop connection, right? That's where I'm going to plug either into my UC engine or a laptop, right, and pass off all those peripherals. So again, a little ahead of the slides, here's an explanation of the ports. Again, just a simple way now to get this device on the network. And to be honest, it's not a TA compliant device. There are banks and government places that we're getting into because we don't have that connectivity built in. So this was a good compromise. Have it if you want, but if it's a security risk to you or something you just don't want to allow, we don't have the option. So again, this gives us that, you know, overall interface to the bar to make it more of that enterprise class device. Now again, whether it's a bar, a ViDi250, any of our products that are plugged into it will be able to be managed through SafeView. Again, all the prices on this presentation will be listed. Hopefully dealers know your discounts, but we don't like to give your pricing away. That's up to you guys. So that'll be a $500 list product available in August. The firmware for the updates is already out in Windows. And then from August, we now resell the Lenovo Compute. By August, the reason it's later is because it takes us a while to get Lenovo to catch up to what we want to do. But by August, all the computes you buy from us will have things like just different utilities loaded that'll help with this kind of an application and also make it manageable by SageView, right? So we are kind of putting a spin on the Lenovo product, so it's a little bit ours as well. And all that should be available by August. So again, now we have two ways to do the update. You can do the Windows update, you can do a Parlay N100. But something else we see in a lot of these rooms is there's a need to do both a dedicated UC solution, but they also want to have a BYOM solution, right? I want to bring a laptop in. You're at Teams house. I hate using Teams. I want to use Zoom, so I want to bring my laptop in, and I want to use the whole room, right? We all struggle with this happening and how we deal with this, and there's a number of switches that are out there that are helping this. Well, here's our version. So we basically took the idea of the Parlay 100 and we said, okay, the N100, and we said, let's leave that in this box and let's add some other features. So what we did was we have exactly what we have in the N100 with an additional USB 3 port. And we now have a layer of HDMI and dual USB ins, right? So you see where I'm going. Now this becomes not only the management point for the bars and cameras plugged into it to get it to SageView, this guy is also the AB switch, so that when I bring my BYOM solution in and I plug in, everything switches over to me. I do my meeting, I unplug, it all goes back to the room, and everything works just like it was when I walked in. That also means if you have an interactive display or any other peripherals plugged into the USB ports, they will switch as well. So again, now we have this multi-layer switch with the management built in. So it's kind of bringing everything to the table at once. Nice thing about this, Biamp really does try to make it easier for our partners to work with our products. You know, there's advantages the way our speakers go up. There's advantages to so many of our products. In this case, we are going to give you guys the cables. So there will be, I think it's actually the next slide. There will be a 1 meter set of cables for your nearby UC engine that would be mounted by the display where the box and the peripherals are. There'll be another 1 meter cable, both HDMI and USB, in case you have an interactive display to wire up to the display. And then you'll get a 5 meter pair of cables to get you out to the laptop location. If you need any of those locations to be longer or shorter, you can certainly go supply your own cables. But the point here is we're trying to make this an easy to install product, supplying, you know, cables that should do the job with it. And again, it comes with a power supply. That power supply will power up the bar. No drivers required because this product builds on top of that N100 concept. This brings in Sage View monitoring and managing for all the devices, multiple USB ports. So again, we're going to make that hub built in there so you don't have other boxes you need to plug in. Supports HDMI 2.0 up to 4K. And it will support up to 4K camera because it's a true USB 3.0 switch. So now we have 3 ways that we can manage the firmware and 2 that we can actually manage the devices in real time. We're also in the cable business now. You know, a big thing in the market is, you know what, we got all these different options, places to go for things. We don't know if they're going to work, know if they're not going to work. Where do I get the cables? Why don't you just give me everything? I just want to know you're going to put it together. I'm going to put it in, and I already know it's all going to work. So we're doing that. We're starting to, you know, resell some cables that we know work with our products. They've been tested. You can buy them from us, you know, essentially becoming that one throat to choke, right? If it's all our products and you have a problem, there are only one people you can call up and yell at, and that would be us. So again, different types of cables for different applications. Some are active optical, some are active copper, right? But all, again, tested and known to work with our products. The Easy Connect MPX 100 will be available in July with a list price of $1,600, right? That's the dual switch. And then all these other cables, again, I haven't known that they started shipping yet, but we're saying July, so I haven't tried to order any. I guess I should order a few and see if they come in. But the cables are available now or soon. Now we have one other thing, and this device is in the same family and so not in that family. And what I mean by that is this is Max Connect. Max Connect is, I think the way Rashid sees it, our CEO, the holy grail of the collaboration space. So up until today, we've had lots of ways to share content. Everything from an HDMI cable or a USB dock or pick your poison to do a wired connection to a display. And then there's tons of, you know, over-the-air solutions from Chromecast and Miracast and AirPlay and proprietary software and widgets. And then you get into the real UC world where you got Mersive and Barco and us and others, right? Where, you know, we're doing wireless USB, we're doing conferencing. They're kind of the 3 markets that are out there. And, you know, we do have our Magna product in that category. Max Connect is a new animal. So Max Connect is our new wireless collaboration platform with so much more built in. Now, a little secret here. When Biamp announces a product, they get 90 days to get it out. That's kind of Rashid's role. 60 days of those, from the slides we originally get, not all the details are baked, because let's face it, it's still under development. You know, more or less features may be released at the time. So we don't necessarily know everything about this box yet. We're going to know more in about another month. So bear with me on what I do and don't know, but I'm going to give you the highlights here. And so far, I can't wait to play with it. What's our goal with this box? Our goal is multi-tier, right? We want to make sure that a meeting is easy to start, right? We want all the experience to be just second nature. You walk into a room, you don't do anything special, and we do what we do. So we want it easy to start a meeting. We want it easy for anybody to share content, right? And maybe multiple people to share content at once. We will make it easy to turn around and say, we want to add remote participants. So we're doing a collaboration session now locally, but I want to bring somebody in over Zoom or Teams, and I want them to have the same experience that we're having in this room. We want to also, why not have this one device control your environment as well? Why do we need multiple boxes connected to multiple things, doing multiple things? So what if this collaboration box also can control your AV environment, your switchers, your displays, your shades, your curtains? And we also want to make it easy to use with Zoom and Teams, other products that we already use in the same environment. We will make it similar to use and make those tools even easier to use. We also plan on selling a lot of these to you guys, so they need to be managed like anything else you're deploying at scale. So this will come out of the box, again, tying back to our SageView platform, so that it's easy to manage everything from firmware to security to numerous numbers of features that are built into the box. And in the end, the real goal is that we want to have the same experience everywhere. If I walk into a laptop in an auditorium and I want to do a call and host a meeting, I want that to work the same way in a huddle space. I don't want my experience to be any different. That's the goal of Max Connect. So what is Max Connect? So it's a little PC server, can be either powered over PE or with a local power supply, PoE or a local power supply. And it comes with a wireless remote. So this is the base bundle. You get, again, the Max Connect host, and you get a wireless remote. There's an optional 8-inch panel that can be tied to the system, right? It's a Max Room controller. And we're going to go into why you may want to do that in another minute here. So I can have the system actually kind of scale out to be all of this. So I got the Max Connect mounted behind the display. I got a wireless remote for most of the users to use. And I can introduce this 8i either for general use or even more importantly for somebody that can moderate what everybody else is doing without affecting what they're seeing, right? So they can sit on the side with the 8i, see everything that's going on, see what everybody wants to present, and they can decide who's presenting, who's doing what, how many screens are up. So it's that idea that I have this, more intense interface to do more stuff with. So easy to start a meeting. Like a lot of the collaboration devices out there, we're going to use a nice friendly screen that's going to have everything you need to know on it. So what's this look like? If we want to start a meeting, we're going to need to know what room we're in. The real key here is going to be the session ID, because this is going to be what's going to get you connected. And you're going to be able to connect multiple ways. And the only thing you're going to know to need to connect is what room you're connected to and that key. So bear with me for that. Simple join instructions. It's going to tell you what to do. If you have a mobile device, you can snap the QR code and it will connect you. If you're going to use a browser, it's going to show you the URL that you can just open up a web browser and connect to this device. So again, multiple ways to connect, all the information available on the home screen. Now, I spoke about the fact that Max is going to have embedded Empiric control in it. Well, this idea of this B button that you're seeing there is our moniker for control. So if I'm doing a visual interface, so this is on a touch panel, that B is going to open up a control menu for me. The wireless remote has a similar button that will open up the controls on the screen, and we'll touch on that. Along that home screen, again, we want to make it customizable and useful for the customer. So you can show with it widgets like weather and clock. You can do company logos, right, to make the look and feel however you want. There's a room calendar that we can tie to. Don't ask me which ones yet. We haven't got all the information, but I'm sure it's going to be Teams, Zoom, probably Google, but details yet to be known. There's also a visual indication of how many attendees have joined this session. So that's all up on the home screen. Now, a lot of what's going on in these rooms is that, we want them to be enticing. We want people to go walk in and go, wow, that's cool. One way you can do that is what that welcoming screen looks like. So Max Connect supports changing backgrounds, motion backgrounds. There's a bunch that'll come with it. You can upload some of your own if you'd like. But again, just something that makes it, just a little more jazz in the room. And again, it's half about being the eye candy. So the room displays everything you're going to do. Again, the really key information is what room you're trying to connect to and what is the session ID. Because whether I do this from the app, so there's an app you can load on your PC. If I open up the app, this is what it looks like. I'm looking for that key. If I join from the web browser via that URL that was up on the screen, when I hit the welcome screen for that Max, same thing, it's going to ask me for that key. I enter from either one the same way. I just need to know that key. I put the key in. I'm now going to join the meeting. So again, I can do it from the Max app, which will be an icon in your tray, and you just put the code in. What if I got a mobile device? What if I'm going to join from my phone? Well, there will be an app that you can download on the phone that'll give you the same experience, just asking for the key. Okay, you know what? I don't necessarily want to load your app on my phone. Well, we also support AirPlay. We support Miracast. You pick it, we're supporting it. So you're going to be able to connect from native applications on your devices, and all you're going to need is that key to join. And again, a PC with no custom software, just a web browser, will be able to join into the collaboration session as well. Again, URL's up on the screen. We put that in. We browse to it. We put the key in. We're in the meeting. So easy for everybody to get connected and share. How about if we want to add remote participants? Oh, I'm sorry, for remote sharing. So the app lets me share, and it looks like Zoom and Teams. In the icon tray, I got to share. When it opens up, I can pick what screen I'm going to share. Again, I can connect to this device and share my content using AirPlay, Google Cast, or Miracast. So I don't need any apps. I can use what's native on the device. Again, that same concept. Who am I connecting to? Here's the room. Once I go there, I'm going to put that same identifier in, and I'm in now, and I'm presenting on the device. It also has a wired input. So if one of the ways that you want to collaborate is to have a physical input out to a table, we also can bring in a wired window as well. So what does this give us? I can bring up content of any of those. So I can have somebody sharing Miracast, somebody else doing AirPlay, somebody on the hardwired connection, somebody running the app, somebody into a browser. We can display up to 5 presenters at one time with a 6th window that is actually a shared whiteboard between all the devices. And that can be complicated because now what happens when I got 5 people in the room, we all want to present? This is where the idea of having a moderator comes in. Once I have that 8-eye on the system, I'm going to see everybody wants to present in these screenshots on the right side of the window. And then I'm going to be able to pick who goes up on the stage or is presented on the screen, right? So I can enable and disable presenters to pick who and how many people are presenting. So where this is nice, when I got 5 high-level presenters, they're all queued up. They got their slides ready. They're all already presenting. When their slides come up on the screen, they're going to do their thing, right? But I'm bringing them up. So they don't need to be worried about, hey, it's almost my turn. What do I do, right? A moderator can sit there and control that for them. Again, when it comes to the UC side, pick your platform. Of course, working with the big 3, Teams, Zoom, and Meet. How do you do this? Kind of like you do any other piece of UC peripheral. We're going to show up as an option in your settings screen. So you pick up Max as your audio and video devices. And now you're going to give control to us. So we don't need to go back in here anymore, because when we want to do something, we're going to be able to do it from the Max app. So I can actually open up my Max app, share when I pick what I want to share. One of those options will actually be the Max room view. So I can share that multi-viewed window with a far end as a source, right? And again, all from within the app, all this is happening wirelessly. Now I can also, from that app, open up the camera icon, and I'm going to allow you to now flip between me and other cameras you have connected, right? So you don't have to go back into the UC client if you're already presenting and doing stuff within our app. You just open up our app and you'll be able to change those features from there. Again, easy to control room AV. We want one thing that does it all. So it's automatically out the door going to support our bar and other UVC devices. So if you're plugged USB into Max Connect, We're going to be able to zoom the camera, control the volume, mute the room peripherals, right, both audio and video. In the case of the cameras, we're going to be able to do pan, tilt, zoom, focus, also store presets and recall presets. Now, I can also do this from the button. So if I hit the B button on the remote, it's going to open up a screen that's going to allow me to do some of the same stuff. What am I presenting? What camera am I using? So again, I still have this wireless remote. Everybody will see what I'm doing, but they're going to see that if I'm sharing my screen anyway. Again, I can use this wireless remote now to do that. Also, when it comes to us capturing the camera, we're going to do snapshots of the picture. So now when you're going to recall preset, you get a visual indicator of what that preset's going to be, as opposed to just preset 1, 2, and 3. And again, with the optional panel, we can do all the same stuff. We can pick who's presenting. We can control the call that is on somebody else's PC, right? Because it's all coming through Max Connect anyway. So if I'm the person that has this call, whoever has the 8-inch panel is controlling my call, my sources. Easy to access modern collaboration tools. One thing that we've always been big about, and you got to remember that our Modena product was an acquisition of a company called HRT, who was the first company to bring wireless USB to market. We've been dabbling in this since its inception. One of the big things to the team that started that, which is the same team that developed Max, is we believe in device to device. So everybody does device to screen, right? I'm going to take my phone, I'm going to see it on the display. But I also, maybe I'm too far from the display, I got a bad angle. I want to be able to see the presentation on my PC or my phone or my tablet sitting right in front of me. That's device to device. We've been doing that since day one, and we're still doing that today with Connect. But it works a little different when you're the device. So we're not going to send you exactly the same content on the screen, which could be all the windows up at once. We're going to break them out in smaller tiles that allow you to pick which one you want to bring center stage. So basically, you have control of your screen. You see all the presentations in tiles, but you can pick which one you want to bring up to take the center of the stage. So you get to control your experience. What's nice is once we're all connected in this collaboration space, it's anybody for anything. If I want to, if I have a touchscreen laptop or I want to use my mouse and I want to annotate in Windows 3, which is your PC, you're going to see it on your PC and everybody's going to see it in the Windows. Everything is live all the way around. So everybody can annotate, everybody can, put their finishing touches on whatever we're talking about. And again, we want it to be easy to manage and deploy. What's nice about this, so the device itself is going to connect to SageView, along with any of the peripherals. So this is the N100 aspect of it, where anything like our VIDI 250 or our bars or other products that we come out that are, a USB interface device will be able to be monitored and managed through Max Connect as well. So all the firmware updates, all the configurations, again, will all be moved back to SageView for you. So SageView lets us, again, manage all that when we want, where we want. Even in all our devices that support launch, which is our bars, some of the FORTÉ X product if you're running launch. And launch is the idea that I'm going to tune to a room. So maybe I know they're, every Wednesday they move the configuration of the room. So it would be a good idea if I relaunch in the middle of the night so the next morning it's ready to go. I can come to SageView and schedule that to be every Wednesday. It's going to run launch because, again, I know the configuration changes. Maybe it goes back on Friday. I can launch again Friday night, or I can run it every night if I want. But it allows me to automate that and, address some of those issues that we might see if we didn't have a way to just really quickly do that. So again, it'll be able to manage current products and future products through this mechanism. So now we have 4 ways that we can update and manage the bar. You got the Windows update, you got the Parlay N100, you got the Easy Connect MPX 100, and you got the Max Connect. And again, the same experience everywhere because we're moving everything into Max to Connect in a simple application. It doesn't matter whether it's on a huge projector, whether it's in a small space. It doesn't matter what the peripherals are in the room. If it's a huge auditorium or one of our bars, we're going to pass that audio experience off the same mute capability, right? So that experience is the same in all those spaces. So if the product comes out, hits the marks, we're really doing good, because I think that's something we're all looking for, something that's going to be the same everywhere, and I can kind of generically deploy it. Now, this is not an enhancement of our Magna product. This is a ground up, redeveloped box, much different specs, much more capability. You know, we're not doing it now, but the box supports up to 8K at 60 frames, right? So, you know, this is meant to have some teeth, some growth, and you're going to see a lot, you know, coming out of this product. Now, because this product is so new, and Rashid, the CEO of Biamp, has made it known that he really wants to take hold and run with the collaboration market. He wants to be your partner in that space. So this product will be coming out in September, right? And the list prices are up there. But because this new product's coming out, we've decided to take all the existing Magna products and slash them by half, right? So all those Magna products today cost half as much as they did before Infocom, right? This happened at Infocom. And then there's still additional promos that if you take, let's say a Magna and you tie it to an SCR10, or you tie it to a VIDI 250, you'll still get an additional 20%, 25% off of the hub, right? So again, really try to make a mark in there, try our products. They're inexpensive to try now. None of these products require yearly fees, right? There's no, you get everything we do. They all upgrade for free. The CEO Biamp does not believe in that recurring, you know, charge you for licenses aspect. So when you buy it, you own it. Control. We've been talking about Control for a while. Our software has won some awards. It is very simple software to use. It might take a little bit to get used to it. Like anything, you can look at it and say, I don't know what I'm doing. You play with it for an hour. Oh, okay, not that bad. So we are winning awards with it. Definitely give it a shot. But the real announcement isn't about what we've been talking about for a year, where Tango is now shipping, the 8Is are now shipping, right? All the core Impera and Aprimo products are shipping out in the wild now. But what we announced is, what about the UC side? Everybody's saying, hey, is your Aprimo Touch 10 going to be my Zoom panel? Nope, we ain't doing that. Our panels are not going to ever be your interface, but we're going to let you use the interface of your choice to control us. So what do I mean by this? Zoom and Teams are both opening up third-party control, and we're part of this relationship. And they both do it very different ways, but we're working with both of them. So if we look at Teams, you have to go to the admin portal for the room, and you enable this advanced feature. And then there's actually, what it does is does a page flip. And in our case, what you're seeing there would actually be a set of web server pages served up from one of our controllers, right? So that's really just a web page. We make it look however we want, and we have templates to make it look like Teams. But you can make that interface do anything you want to do within the Impera environment. Teams knows nothing about it, right? It's just a pass through to a web interface. When we go to Zoom, same thing. We go to the admin portal. Works a little different though. We enable this control and adds a button. The way Zoom does it though is when I hit that button, it actually implements a JSON script. So there's actually a script that builds the page and gives the buttons their features. So this one is actually available today. You can go to Cornerstone, download the kit, and what you're going to get in the kit is you're going to get an example JSON file with clear instructions on how to go in, change the text of buttons, change what the icons look like. And they only give you a limited set of icons, right? This is managed by Zoom. So we can't control as much in Zoom as we can in Teams, what the interface looks like. But we work within their constraints, and you can now tie Impera products to that. You also get a sample Impera file, right? So it makes it very easy to make the link between the two. So again, Zoom rooms are going to be this web-based idea. There's actually an applet that we're going to release in September. I'm sorry, we're in Zoom. So again, this is some screenshots of how you do it. You go to the admin portal, you enable this feature. Then with Zoom, that JSON file I spoke of is actually, it's kind of, this is nice. You actually load them all from this portal. So you go to the portal, you enable this feature, you say upload this file. In that file are going to be all the connection information for where the Impera controller is on that site and any other pertinent information. And you're going to push that out to the endpoint, and then it's going to work. In order to test that, though, you can build web pages that mimic what you're doing in Zoom, test them all with an Impera, and then we're only looking at how the buttons are different. So it's still very easy to work with. And again, we're going to enable that. We're going to edit the file, upload the file. And again, clear instructions on the kit when you download it. And again, here's the idea. See, it's a limited list of icons and stuff that are given to us by Zoom. So that's what we all have to work within. And again, we're going to give you all this. Here's some shots of, what it'll look like when you run the web interface. Teams a little different in the fact that there's actually going to be a little application that you have to install on the MTR. And in that will be the information like where the Impera controller is and so that it does the redirect to the web page. So really it's just a matter of loading this widget up, modify the information in the widget, loading it up and then programming the Tango or whichever processor you're using to do what you want, and you're good to go. This will be available in September. And then later in the year, again, we are reselling the Lenovo packages. It will come pre-installed on our packages. Again, there's a bit of a delay for us to get the Lenovo to load up all the things we want, to get them back to us, to get out to distribution. Again, they are Lenovo computes. They're managed by Lenovo, right? They're the real deal. But again, we're layering on top of that in partnership with Lenovo. Again, you're going to pick your processor. You're going to build your pages within our environment. They're going to look just, there's actually a template for the right sizing. And then, a set of icons that will match the MTR look. We upload that, and then it serves up the web pages. Easy peasy. And again, on the MTR side, since they are web pages, it doesn't have to look like the MTR. You can make those pages look any way you want, give them different backgrounds, different button types. Again, when it comes to the MTR deployment, we're just a web page. And again, so the best part of all this, this is not limited to the MTRs we're reselling or the Zoom units. This is across the board. It's a Zoom and Teams thing. Nothing to do with Lenovo or any other manufacturer. So these work with all the different manufacturers. Also, free of charge. There is no licensing. There's no additional cost for the application you need to load or for doing the attachment from our controller to the UC engine. We know a lot of our competitors, charge different things for different features. It's all included, no cost. And I think, again, free. The MTRs will be $500 list, and you can buy them either the Zoom or Teams flavor. Okay, any questions? Now that we're done death by PowerPoint.
So Chris asks a great question. The control is only available to Windows versions of Teams and Zoom, right?
I don't know about the Teams part. I mean, the Zoom part. We've said generically, so I'll actually find out and get back to you. Again, some of the information is a little dicey in the beginning, but I know the apps engineer on that. I'll reach out to him and ask if it is going to work on Android-based solutions as well, which would be the Polys and many others. My understanding is I believe it is, but I will verify that. Any other questions? Well, we really do appreciate your time. We know it's valuable. We know we're all busy. We know we're all, trying to get things done. And, we appreciate your time. We hope this was good information. And Again, Terrence and I are here to support you. Any questions you have on these products or anything else Biamp has, or even help with our other products, please reach out to us and we'd be glad to help.
Do you have a slide with our email addresses by any chance, Vinny?
I don't, but I believe they'll be contacting everybody that was in the meeting, and they're sending out links to the recording and the PowerPoints. So they'll have our contact in there, I'm pretty sure. But we'll make sure that happens though. All right, again, no other questions. I really appreciate everybody's time. Good to see some of you. Haven't seen you in a while. And other ones, hope to meet you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.